There are moments in life when time seems to freeze. When something or someone strikes you emotionally, you can't explain why, only that something inside you changed. It was an overcast afternoon. The traffic lights flickered red as rain slid down the windshield like slow tears. And then I saw her, at the edge of the street, standing perfectly still. She wasn't just a woman in a coat waiting to cross. Something was unsettling in her stillness, like the calm before a storm. Her eyes weren't watching the cars. They were staring straight into something far beyond. And for a split second, I felt like I was looking at a ghost, not of someone dead, but someone who had forgotten how to live. Her name was Althea. My name is Lucian Vale. I'm not a guru, not a therapist. I'm just a humble storyteller and a lifelong student of philosophy. 15 years ago, I began reading obsessively, not to escape the world, but to understand why many of us feel lost. What I share with you is not fiction. These are fragments of real life, shaped by the words of thinkers like Friedrich Nietzsche. Today, I want to reveal a truth, a lie we all live inside, and how it keeps us stuck in patterns that silently kill us. But more importantly, I'll show you how to break free. The beautiful trap. Althea was everything society tells us to be. Elegant, composed, successful. People admired her, envied her even. But every night she came home and sat in the dark. Not because she was tired, but because she didn't know what to feel anymore. Joy felt fake. Sadness felt selfish. She had lost the map to her soul. Nietzsche once said, "The most common lie is the lie one tells to oneself." We all tell this lie. We say we're fine. We wear smiles like armor. We follow the script, job, relationship, routine. Without realizing it, we act out a character instead of living as ourselves. Althea wasn't unhappy because her life was bad. She was unhappy because she was living a life that wasn't hers. The invisible loop. There's a term Nietzsche used, eternal recurrence. It's not just a poetic idea, it's a brutal mirror. Imagine this. What if you had to live your exact life with every mistake, every secret, every silent night, again and again, forever? Would you scream? Would you run? Or would you change? Althea couldn't answer that, because deep down, she didn't know who she was anymore. She had become an expert at pleasing others, a performer, a peacekeeper, a professional masker, but inside, a storm. She cried in showers, she laughed at jokes she didn't find funny. She gave love she didn't have. And the worst part? She thought this was normal. The shocking encounter. One night, everything changed. She was walking home through a dimly lit street when she saw a man standing beneath a broken street lamp. His presence was strange, calm yet chaotic. He had long, messy hair, an old coat, and piercing eyes that seemed to see straight through her. But what shook her most wasn't his appearance. It was what he said. He looked at her and whispered, "Do you know the name of the lie you live in?" She stopped, frozen. He leaned closer, his voice barely audible. "It's the one where you pretend to be someone the world approves of, but you quietly mourn the death of who you truly are." And just like that, he was gone. She didn't sleep that night. The cracking mask, that one sentence haunted her. Started journaling. Not the filtered kind, but the raw, ugly truth kind. She wrote, "I hate how I shrink myself to keep the peace. I smile at people who exhaust me. I say yes when I want to scream no. I dress like I care when I feel invisible. Who am I trying to impress, and why?" Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Althea had lost her why, but that night something small returned. The courage to ask a new question. If I was no longer afraid, what life would I choose? The rebellion within change didn't come with fireworks. It came with tiny rebellions. She turned off her phone. I skipped a party. Quit a project that drained her. She cried, doubted herself. I almost relapsed into old habits. But with every no she said to the world, she said yes to herself. She wasn't becoming someone new. She was becoming someone true. Nietzsche believed that every significant transformation begins in chaos. One must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. Althea's chaos was no longer her curse. It was her compass, the escape from the lie. Here's the twist. Most people never escape this lie. Why? Because healing is not a straight line. It's a spiral. You revisit the same pain with deeper awareness each time. And sometimes the world resents your growth. People preferred Althea when she was agreeable, quiet, and self-sacrificing. But she wasn't living for applause anymore. She was living for peace. Nietzsche said, "No one can build you the bridge on which you and only you must cross the river of life." Althea crossed that bridge. And now I ask you, if your life had to be lived again, precisely as it is, would you want that? Be honest, not someday. Now, because the cycle ends when you say it does. You're not too late. You're not too broken. You're just ready. If this story shook something inside you, don't let it fade. Let it transform you. Write in the comments, "The cycle ends with me." Let others know they're not alone. And if this message helped you, help someone else. Like, subscribe, and stay with me as we peel back the lies that keep us caged. This is the Vale Mind, where truth isn't always comfortable, but it's always real.